Important requirements of successful trusteeship. Now, we're speaking on trusteeship, but ultimately, I consider these important requirements of success. I consider these important requirements of, getting what you want out of your life here on this earth. And, important requirements of being a well-rounded, emotionally, psychologically mature adult. Now, I do want to start off by enumerating the 7 pillars, also known as the 7 Hermetic principles. This changed my life, and with proper comprehension, meditation on these principles, it will also change your life. So the first pillar is mind or mentalism. All is mind and everything is energy. The universe is mental. You got mind or mentalism. You have correspondence. As it is above, so it is below. As it is below, so it is above. So you have mind, mentalism, correspondence. You have vibration, because nothing is stationary and everything vibrates. Mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity. Everything is double. Everything has its opposite. Extremes meet. Mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm. All is ebb and flow, action and reaction, advance and recoil. Mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens according to the law. Mind, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and generation or gender. Generation is manifest in everything, and everything is masculine and feminine. Now, I'm not saying that to be controversial. I understand that, there are people who are non-binary and, they wish to be, considered and addressed as, what they want, and do your dance. But these principles stand and will stand. So with that being said, when it comes to important requirements of a successful trusteeship, it breaks down. Now, I'm going to go through a couple. You can take notes. But ultimately, this is some internal work. These are internal characteristics that must be possessed, and they only are manifest in you after work. You have to do work, internal work. It requires accountability. It requires self-reflection. It requires you to no longer place blame for your circumstances outside of yourself. It requires you to be accountable. So I'm going to start with self-discipline. Self-discipline is the single most important quality for success. If you can discipline yourself to do what you should do rather than what you feel like, your success is virtually guaranteed. Self-discipline requires self-mastery, self-control, self-responsibility, and self-direction. And that's another thing, self-direction. Most of us are used to being told what to do, get a job, and, we read the employee handbook and we know what our job is, and we go in every day and we do what we're told. We do what we're supposed to. Outside of being told what to do, most people are lost. And that's why self-direction is really important. Self-mastery, self-control, self-responsibility. The difference between successful people and failures is that successful people make a habit of doing the things that failures don't like to do. The things that failures don't like to do are the same things that successful people don't like to do, but successful people do them anyways because they realize that this is the price that they must pay for the success they desire. Cause and effect. Manifest right there. Because I didn't sit at home watching Netflix all day on some binge watch and actually read these books or worked out these problems or created this product or this music or whatever, the effect of which allows me to achieve and do things that those who sat and watched and binged watched Netflix cannot do. Important requirements of successful trusteeship or a successful life, successful entrepreneur, however you want to look at it. Integrity. You must possess integrity. Perhaps the most valued and respected quality you can develop is a reputation for absolute integrity. Be perfectly honest in everything you do and in every transaction and activity. Never compromise your integrity. Remember that your word is your bond and your honor is everything when it comes to your success, whether business, whether relationship, or otherwise. All successful relationships, successful trusteeships, all successful business is based on trust. Your success in becoming a trustee, a husband, a wife, a business partner will be determined solely by the number of people who trust you, are willing to work for you or with you, give you credit, lend you money, buy your products and services, spend time with you, and help you during difficult times. Your character is the most important asset that you develop in your entire life, and your character is based on the amount of integrity that you practice. Integrity, self-reflection, accountability. Can you be accountable? Accountability is perceived as an attack on those who are not willing or able to accept how their actions or inactions negatively affect others. Perfect example. You go to work late. Hey, you're late. Oh, man, the traffic and all. Why are you messing with me? You tripping on me. Most people, when they get the job, unequivocally, they're told what time they're supposed to be there. And they want their supervisors or whoever to understand and accept their flawed reasoning as to why, after agreeing to be at the job on time, they are not on time. And it's not my fault that I'm not on time. It's the traffic. It's my mom. It's the girlfriend. It was my tire. It was the bus was late. All these excuses that I use to not be accountable. It's ridiculous. Those types of people will not be successful in business, will not be successful in their trusteeship, will not more than likely be successful in their interpersonal relationships because you lack integrity, you lack accountability, you lack self-reflection. You place blame outside of yourself when you are the cause of the desired or undesired effect. Period. Most people don't want to hear it, but it is what it is. And those who don't want to hear it are going to have hard time being successful, and they will blame their lack of success on outside factors. Mark my words. The next trait that all successful trustees and entrepreneurs must possess is persistence. Persistence is the iron quality of character. Persistence is to the character of success as carbon is to steel. It is an indispensable quality that goes hand in hand with all great success in life. One of the great secrets to persistence and success is to program your subconscious mind for persistence well in advance of the setbacks and disappointments that you are going to have on your quest towards success. You sit down and do some self-reflection and say, hey, man, well, check this out. I want this luxury car. I want to work for myself and not have to go into work every day. I want to build a business. Well, you need to sit down and acknowledge and prepare your mental mind for the setbacks and disappointments that you are going to come into contact with on your way to achieve your goal. You need to resolve in advance that you will never give up no matter what happens. The courage to persist in the face of adversity and disappointment is the one quality that, more than anything, will guarantee your success. Period. Your greatest asset can be your willingness to persevere longer than anyone else. In fact, your persistence is a true measure of your belief in yourself and your ability to succeed or be successful. Persistence. Don't give up. Oh, I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. All these self-defeating negative thoughts that everyone experiences. Are you prepared to persist past your failures, past the setbacks, and beyond the self-defeating thoughts that you will experience when you try to do anything that is outside the norm of get up, go to work, go to school, go home, eat some food, binge watch some Netflix, kick it with the homie, watch the game, whatever. Persistence and dedication. Dedication to your goal and persistence in the pursuit of that goal. Integrity as you pursue that goal. Are you lying? Are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to the people that you come into contact with? Are you lying to your potential business partners? Do you lack integrity? Do you have the required self-discipline? The next requirement of all successful people, you must possess a clear sense of direction. Because of the turbulence and rapid change in today's world, most people have been reduced to operating day by day, almost like firefighters. Most people are totally preoccupied with short-term problems and the need to get short-term solutions, short-term sales, or short-term profits. They intend to spend more time thinking and planning for the future, but they don't ever seem to get around to it. This is not the case for successful people or those who are partaking in successful trusteeship. You need to set clear targets for yourself and for your life, for your goals, for your business. In fact, perhaps your most important responsibility to yourself is to give yourself a clear sense of direction. The next one, the next requirement, all successful people, entrepreneurs, trustees must possess is decisive and action-oriented tactics. You must think and make decisions quickly. You must discipline yourself to take action and to carry out the decisions you make and have made. You must move fast and get quick feedback from your actions. If you find that you made a mistake, very quickly self-correct and try something else. And that's another thing. Self-critique is a good thing if you know how to let go. That's another important requirement of successful trusteeship. You got to know how to let go and not sit around boo-hooing over your mistakes, your missteps. Oh, I didn't do it right. I can't do it. I'm stupid. I'll never get it right. That is so self-defeating. You need to be able to let go. You need to be able to learn from your mistakes, understand your mistakes are just that, mistakes, which are opportunities to learn and grow, nothing more. Not necessarily opportunities to beat yourself up, not necessarily opportunities to derail your progress or your pursuit, but opportunities to get better and grow. I like to use the example all the time of riding a bike. Make a mistake of going too fast or hitting that turn too hard, and you fall, and you skin your knee or your leg or your arm or your palm or your hand. Which is direct incentive to learn. Most people did not give up on riding a bike the first time they fell, the second time they fell, the third time they fell. Most of us can ride a bike pretty successfully. The reason is that we did not give up after mistakes. We may have needed to allow ourselves to heal. Some of us didn't let us heal. Like, you know what, I'm going to jump back on this joint and try again. Persistence. Something that we didn't lack as children, but somehow we've lost it as adults. And the ability to move on, to let go. Yeah, you fell. But so what? Courage. A lot of times, most people do not achieve success because of fear. Many people have a fear of failing, and this is what can stop them from achieving. And technically, some of the most successful people will say that failing is key to succeeding and that you need to make mistakes. Having this mindset is a quality required for success. It's required. If you have courage, you can stop being so fearful of failing and instead focus on what you can achieve. If you can look at mistakes I lost my little note, man. If you can look at mistakes and failures as lessons to learn from, this can also encourage you to keep going, and eventually you will succeed. Courage is a great trait to have if you want to be successful. It will help you to develop the right mindset when it comes to reaching your goals, and you won't be afraid to try even after you make a mistake. Patience. If you can be more patient, this can really help you when trying to be successful. Patience will help you when it comes to making any mistakes or having to deal with problems on your journey to success. If you have little or no patience, this is going to make things much harder for you. You will not be able to deal with the obstacles very well. Understanding that things take time and unfortunately mistakes can be made is crucial. You will become successful much quicker if you can accept that you will make mistakes. Period. Period. If you fear failure, by definition, you are avoiding success. If you fear failure, then by definition, you are avoiding success. I want you to think about that. Think about that. If you fear failure, by definition, you are avoiding success. It's a requirement of trusteeship. You got to have optimism. If you're optimistic, it's likely that you will be excited about what you are trying to achieve and feel good about it. Having an optimistic attitude is a great trait to have if you want to be successful, as it can help you stay positive about what you are doing and not be disheartened if things go wrong. Flexibility. One misconception that ordinary people have about persevering is staying the course no matter what. This is true only if the reason for pursuing your goal is still valid. Most successful people achieve success doing something different from what they initially intended to do. This makes sense because the world is always changing, and they know a lot more now than when they started. Successful people know that if their reasons for doing what they are doing changes, there's no point to continue. Zero. None. And of course, I can go on and on about important requirements of successful trusteeship, which really boils down to important requirements of being successful in anything that you do. I'll do a couple more. You have to have a passion for improvement. Successful people are perpetually trying to improve themselves. They are their worst critics, never satisfied, always striving to do better. The person that they most need to best is themselves. Obsessive attention to detail usually drives everyone around you crazy, but it also drives excellence. It flies in the face of the popular mantra, don't sweat the small stuff, but most successful people got to be successful by doing just that when they were the ones doing the small stuff. Successful people keep track of their achievements, not because they necessarily want to put them on display, although some may, but because it reminds them and those around them of how overcoming the impossible is often just a matter of perseverance. Self-rewarding. On the pathway to success, there are many successes, and successful people celebrate even large successes and the many successes, which in turn contributes to the fuel to keep going, to continue on that path. If you're steadily beating yourself up for your mistakes and not celebrating your achievements, it's almost impossible to persevere in your goal to be successful. And I'll leave off with this: being grateful. Successful people are incredibly grateful. They realized how fortunate we are to be where we are and are not shy about sharing it. And then I'll do one more. Masters of time. Successful people are successful because they get a lot done. The only way to do that is by making the most out of the allotted 24 hours in the day. Extraordinary people value their time and see the direct connection between how they spend their time and their energy. They are usually always on time and train those that deal with them to respect their schedule by implementing strict start and end times for their meetings. And as I said, I can keep going, but I'm going to wrap it up as far as what I consider to be important requirements of successful trusteeship, successful business, successful relationships. But, perseverance, consistency, dedication, accountability will be the biggest one. Being accountable for what you do and what you don't do. Not putting blame on others for what you do and what you don't do. Outside circumstances or outside actors as to why you didn't follow through on your word. Is a hallmark of success. Ultimately, we're all the same. And we all have the same overall abilities. We definitely all have the same hours in the day. What separates successful people from unsuccessful people are the things that we do and the things that we don't do. Everyone has to deal with traffic, has to deal with family, has to deal with stress, has to deal with disappointment, has to deal with extenuating circumstances, has to deal with the job, has to deal with going shopping, and so on and so forth. It's what we do above and beyond the everyday things that every one of us has to deal with is what allows us to be successful. And not just in trusteeship. The root word of trustee is trust. And integrity is important, accountability is important, and that's part of trust. I trust you because you're accountable for your actions. You have integrity. You're not going to lie. Your word is your bond. You do what you say. You don't change with the weather. Your views, your abilities, they stay solid. I can count on you. Those are hallmarks of success. And it is up to us, those of us who want to be successful, to refine our character, to put in that psychological, mental, and emotional work, to be better and to better ourselves, to be accountable. Instead of, hey, man, why you late? And I'm just saying a bunch of stupid stuff that doesn't matter because I originally agreed to be there at a certain time. I just to be accountable and, hey, I'm sorry I'm late, man. It won't happen again. And make sure it never happens again, because I'm not going to put myself in a position for you to talk about me being late again. How about that? Instead of me trying to snap on you or get angry with you about holding me accountable or attempting to hold me accountable, I'll just change my behavior so that you can never say that to me again. That's where our power lies. Your power doesn't lie into snapping on people and making people feel uncomfortable so they don't try to hold you accountable anymore. The power lies in the ability for you to change your behavior so they can never say that to you again. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important. So, I trust that you were able to, pick up a little what I was putting down with this episode of The Foundation, Important Requirements of Successful Trusteeship. No, this is from me to you. This, I want you to be great. I want you to achieve what you desire. I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. And, every Wednesday, give or take a couple Wednesdays for the past 6 years, I've been putting out these episodes of The Foundation to do just that, to assist and help you in your success. Yeah, of course, it's heavily predicated upon establishing your private estate. But that's because I understand that your so-called birth certificate has a state seal on the top of it. And that in order to get outside of that, to become private and to establish that powerful position of a private trustee, you got to understand trust administration, contract law, some commercial law. And, hopefully you're achieving that understanding through trustee training. And if you're interested in trustee training, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com, and we'll discuss it. But outside of that, every Wednesday, this is a donation of my time to you every single Wednesday so that you can be better, so that you can learn, so that you can establish a different foundational understanding of education, of this commercial system, of what real money is, of how to be successful, all in one spot. I don't feel, and I know that this time is not wasted on you. And that the more support that you receive from the foundation and other sources, the more and higher the potential it is for you to be successful in whatever you want. But there are things that we are not taught. And I know it's on purpose when it comes to the public school system. Wealthy families want to reduce competition. Ultimately, we're dealing with, in this system, we're dealing with the game of houses, or so-called Game of Thrones. And it's family against family. And the less families that we have to encounter in commercial warfare, the higher the potential for success. But it's individuals that make up families, and it's families that produce the individuals. So if we can together improve as family and improve the individual, success is all but guaranteed. And that's what I'm looking to do. I say it all the time. I've been all over the world. Been successful. Invited and allowed in certain circles that most will never be around or be invited into. And everywhere I went, all over this world, the people who looked like me were in the lowest economic position. It's not just the United States. It's not just Africa, the continent. It's not just, South America. It's everywhere that I went. And it's, in my opinion, due to a lack of proper education and understanding of certain requirements that are necessary to achieve certain goals. So, I trust that y'all were able to, pick up what I was putting down tonight on the foundation. I will go to the phone lines. Let me take like 1 or 2 calls. But I know we're streaming, and I'm ready to jump up out of here, yo. But I do believe in you. And I want you to know that. And some will be, oh, man, he doesn't even know me. He says he believes in me. He doesn't even know me. He doesn't even understand who I am. He doesn't know what I've been through. It doesn't matter. I believe in you if no one else does. I don't need to know you to believe in you, to know that you are capable of things that you do not understand or could comprehend. Why? Because I believed in myself and other people believed in me, and I achieved things that I did not comprehend or understand. If you told me 15, 20 years ago that I would be in the position that I am right now, I would have probably laughed at you. Or maybe try to, put hands on you for trying to play me. You trying to disrespect me? You trying to make fun of me? I didn't come from money. I didn't come from success. It was created. And I'm sharing with y'all every single episode of the foundation the how. So, this is my donation to the family. You do with it what you will. But 602-9705 on the phone line, 602-9705. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's happening, Phil? Albert, Phoenix.
Hey, peace, family.
How you doing over there, man? It's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear from you too, man. Can you kind of like speak into your mic? You kind of muffled, but go ahead.
Okay. Yes. I said it's good to hear your voice, man.
There you go. That's perfect.
Well, I don't know. What am I trying to say? It sounds like you're cussing at me today. So, talking about me over here with this episode you got going on. What was the title again? I didn't quite catch it.
Important requirements of successful trusteeship.
Right. It's good, man. I really appreciate the info, the criteria, everything, your experience, man. That's really on point today. Just a little bit of side note. Anybody want to know Sot and I? We brothers here on online on High Frequency, the foundation, and so he's a good man. I never heard him say anything bad about anybody that wasn't on point. He's always accurate, loving, respectful. But today, man, I feel like you calling me out, cursing me, telling all this truth and everything. I appreciate it, though, man. Good.
Nah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people feel like I'm talking to them, At one point, even now, today, I'm talking to myself. Just speaking the truth. Speaker of truth.
That's experiences. The truth experiences. Anywho, man, we in another vein ourselves, and you know me, calling in for myself as well as everybody else with our present, past, and future experiences we're anticipating. Glad we made the time to get it done today. Just get in here and listen. My son and I are out here making the best of our time, trying to labor a little bit here, take care of Mama's broken window. Don't want to go up and down, so we almost got it. Trying to do what we need to do so we don't have to put all our ducats into buying brand new cars. As much as we'd all like brand new and fancy, we'll stick with our used car payment, man. It's a blessing to us. We appreciate that, especially having the ability that my daddy taught me and to be able to do what we're doing now. My daddy was an orphan, he didn't have that generational wealth. Just like you said a moment ago, you weren't born with it, it was created. And that's one of the main things I can always share. And tell me, so, like, there is a feeling, like, can you give me a few words? Like, the feeling that you had is similar to where I know myself and a lot of other brothers and sisters that have either took trustee training or whatever steps they had to step out and be an entrepreneur or whatever it is in those areas. There's a look in the eyes I can see in folks, and there's a feeling inside them. There's a different type of a storm, a different type of weather, a different type of peace that I see in those eyes. Did you have something similar when you reached, I guess, a level of entrepreneurship or freedom, something past the traditional JOBs that you had in the past?
As far as how people looked at me or how I felt?
Your feelings, your inward reflection, your manhood, how did that feel? How did that swing once you got to those areas in your life?
I guess internally, it was to begin with, it was determination. It was me making the decision unequivocally that I'm not going to live like this, and it's going to change. That I deserve better, regardless of what anyone says or what I've been taught or whatever. I deserve better. My family deserves better, and making the determination that I will be that catalyst. That belief part. I like to say believe, begin, become. It started with the determination.
That's right.
and the belief that, I'm going to make the difference. I'm going to change no matter what. And then, studying successful people, listening to, other people, taking in critiques of my character, of my actions and stuff like that. And I began to change the things that I did. And when I became successful, it was really just, it wasn't like, oh, I'm successful now. It was, I think it's just, maybe I woke up one day, or I just realized one day, like, man, I've been here for a while. I finally achieved this, and I didn't even kind of realize it when it happened. Exactly. I just realized that the situation and circumstances that I had created were exactly what I determined to do. And it's very, very rewarding, very satisfying, very satisfying, and very humbling. It's I don't know if you've ever seen, sometimes we see athletes or different people in their professions who are rewarded, maybe get an Oscar or win a gold medal or something, and they break down in tears. That overwhelming emotion that floods over you, after all the hard work and the perseverance and stuff, you finally made it, and that emotion that washes over you is very profound. So I would definitely say it was certain things, but the humbling, profound emotion that I felt when I realized that I had finally achieved what I set out to achieve so many years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, pretty much. Blah blah.
Hope for it. That's all I was hoping to hear, man. It's a good reassurance. I love to hear that from somebody else. It's almost like a born again story. You know what I mean? There's a whole newfound level inside yourself, and I think that's all I was hoping to hear, man. It's a good reassurance to hear that from another brother, because I think that's one of the main encouragements I want to give everyone right now today that just comes to mind, hearing what you sharing and you teaching. And that's what that makes me think about, and I just want to encourage everybody, like, don't get messed up in thinking that, like, we're supposed to be movie star, rock god status, meaning once we get to what levels that we think that we should have gotten to, or we were trying to get to, that everything's just going to be peachy. Everything's just going to be, the rainbows and butterflies, and everything's going to work out great, and you'll have this level of success and yada, yada. And I think you put it, that's a blessing to me right there, the way you put it. Once you finally realize, after you already doing the dance, this overwhelming comprehension that I'm already here, And that's the one thing I could give everybody right now is wherever you at, if you got it in your heart, you already there, as long as you making a few moves, few moves, even if that's, waking up a little bit earlier or going to bed a little bit earlier, just getting a few more minutes of sunshine for your health, breathing right, watching something, listening to something educational. Man, there's no better feeling to know when you feel good and you can wake up feeling good and feel free in yourself in those moments of life. For me, I guess that's what I'm trying to convey to everybody. You're already there. We're misinterpreting what having, I guess, missed the mark is, meaning we ain't successful. We need to start thinking successfully as best as we can, because I've been through my recent trials. Everybody this last year, I had a handful of people that were mentors, strictly mentors, and very close to me, blood and not blood, are that no longer breathing, And I can get through that stuff. Like, I have a weird relationship with death that I've been able to prepare and be in those times and things like that. But when you're gone, you don't want to think, hey, was I successful or not successful? We want to feel happy right now. Try not to confuse myself and everybody what I'm saying. There's areas that we stuck that we think we need to get to, right? You don't always got to be with your brother, your neighbor, the grass is greener on the other side. You don't have to get to those levels. Having a job, whatever you want, be successful where you at. As long as you made up in your mind that you want to go somewhere else, that you want to do something else. Even if you want to keep a job for the rest of your life for insurance and benefits, it could be an awesome job. What you'd like to do, great. But if you feel an area of burden, find that place so that when you find that place and you're walking down that road, there will be that level of freedom that comes to you. And I guess my personal journey from having lost a couple more people here this last few weeks, the matriarch of our family, good brother that I grew up with since day one, a bodybuilder, man, he got took undercurrent in a lake right next to his son that was on a floaty. The flip of him happening that fast, things happen. They really happen. And so when these things come, man, it really puts a different perspective on it, stuff like that. And trying to get myself lost, man. I'm just excited, and I want to say I share too much. But I guess that kind of goes along, and I believe what you were saying in the self-defeating, the self-critiquing. It's the reason where I believe a lot of us get drawn to the foundation of high frequency, because we've been through some bullshit, and after you get through the bullshit, that the bull in front of you drop the shit in your lap, your plate, whatever it is, once you clean that plate, once you start getting through it, or as you mowing through it, you start finding in yourself, once you make up your mind, whether you're scared or not scared, that you're going to do something. That's the first level of success. Every level behind that is just another level. Don't let yourself get defeated. Don't let it get defeated. That's where that self-defeating, I believe you said critiquing, comes in. That's where the fear of failure and the failures of successors are the greatest. That's where we become the success. My baby boy, when he fell for the first time and hurt himself and busted his mouth last year, and I was able to capture that moment, not on video, but with myself, and see him fall and bust his mouth, and he was facing away from me, and he analyzed, man, I seen his face from the side a little bit. Man, that kind of hurt. Touched his mouth. Yeah, that didn't feel good. He was about to make a face and wanna, like, should I cry or what or not? Realized the pain is it's subsiding. It's going away. Turn around, looked at Pops. I tried to keep the straightest face at him so that I wouldn't influence him negatively and rob that success from him as a little 1-year-old man, or less than a year-old man. We need, or I guess what I'm trying to say, to see that little level of success on that little man, that's something that he did himself. Myself and no one else robbed it from him. So now when he falls and he gets hurt, he look at that, okay, my arm's still attached, it ain't bleeding out, I'm going to keep trucking. He knows when he can slow it, when he has to slow down and rub that elbow when he bumped it too hard. Look back, man, I shouldn't have walked over there. Dad told me that before. Don't do that. He had to reevaluate once again from his falling, his failures, from moment to moment. And this is one of my favorite things that I could share. Having, been able to be in the shoes of an entrepreneur for going on 5 years now, blessed in that way. Falling, man, it's the best thing you can do. Falling, failure, mistakes, put it all in a bunch right now. Whether you messed up, somebody else on your team messed up, or whoever dropped the ball, whatever fire you got to put out, however it's got to be put out. Enjoy looking back at it, picking up the pieces and say, that's where that shit broke. That's where I dropped the ball. That's where homeboy was late. That's where whatever it was. Evaluate that. Keep trucking, because it's a business. It ain't just 9 to 5. It's all day, every day, 24/7. You might shut your eyes and go to sleep, clock out at 5 o'clock, but business still goes. Whether it's the financial establishment, your spiritual, your spiritual business, you got to keep yourself, your mental clean. You got to get the burdens off your plate. You got to evaluate. One of the biggest, roughest things that I have to deal with in my present day in life and business is trying to comprehend how to evaluate my current failures, which is handing off things that need to be handed off. Myself personally, I can do what I need to do with one individual in one day, what 3 to 5 people could normally do. Now, trying to train one person to do one of those things, wow, that's my fault. That's where I'm failing right now. Trying to successfully advocate and train someone to be able to handle job A, job B, job C. No matter if it's one, job A is a phone call, job B is a hands-on thing, and job C is just a brainstorming, conceptual, ideal to put together in the next venture. I can handle that, but my biggest failing now is learning to let go and comprehend how to build that, and that's where we get blessed, man. That's why, like, I just joke around, but calling me out, you know what I mean, about the next level that I'm learning in the inner self. And because I know the inner work is more, not just more, it reflects everything outwardly, and those struggles that I'm having with the training or applying certain techniques to other individuals in their roles from day to day, taking on more and more responsibilities and stuff like that. It could be an explosive thing in any direction. If you ignore those things that need to be done, then you can see how shit is going to hit the fan. So that spiritual work, once again, I appreciate you for sharing, because that is important. Not just spiritual, your mental, your honesty, your fortitude, your integrity, your timeliness, I used to always joke, because I was one of the individuals in the past. I could be on time every day, or when I got a wild hair up my ass for months, you would never see me on time. They say, hey, you on time? Yeah. I used to joke, say, yeah, I'm on my time. Deal with it, And that, I look back in the past as you were speaking, seeing how that was maybe very burdensome or irresponsible and harmful to even the 6'5", 7-foot managers, big men that I had that were loud and rowdy. Sometimes that wasn't necessary to cause that kind of burden on somebody by being maybe a little bit young and immature and things like that, saying, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, fire me or keep me. And unfortunately, when you're good at stuff, sometimes you just can't get fired. People don't want to fire you, especially if you're the only one who can do something. And that's not a very responsible way to go about life. You don't want to bully and push folks around because you're good at something. You don't want to be a shot caller because you can, because you're a bully, It just don't work like that. Or it does. If it works for you, you do. But you ain't going to get the kind of results that we on this on the foundation we trying to build for folks in a healthy manner. To teach children that in a healthy manner it's okay or it's not okay to conduct yourself like that. Go ahead, son. Yep. Just let me drink. So that's where, as much as I have the capability at this moment to go ahead and take a next step in another business journey to, cover the future and blanket it and have all the bling bling, blah blah blah, yada yada, it's not responsible. You know what I mean? As much as I want to run with the elk in the forest, it's not responsible to run that fast yet. It's more important sometimes to watch how the brothers run. You need to watch how to run. Running is one of the best things, and saved my life and health issues in the past. Learning how to run, you got to learn how to walk straight. You got to learn how to jog. You got to learn how to move them arms. You got to learn how to lean, walk. You got to let it become an ebb and flow style situation. Ebb and flow, very important. That terminology and that phrase has been used in every almost area of study that I have put my friggin' hands to in the last 5 years or so. I'm staring right now at our driveway. We just had to reconfigure the main irrigation ditch pipe, a 24-inch and a 26-inch pipe, reconfigure it, dig it all out with a tractor, get it out, You know, it's underground. Now it's kind of an eyesore when you drive in the yard. You know, you got a 2-foot hump you got to go over. It's not a big deal. But the ebb and the flow of the situation was all off because there was a whole quarter acre that was most luscious with 150 trees on it that weren't even getting touched. They weren't getting watered. So that was a matter of life or death, whether we had to do it or put it off or let it get partially watered. I don't think you're going to tell your children, let me just give you a half cup of water. That's good. If that's all we got, that's all you got. But if you can afford to make a conscious decision to be able to figure out, man, where is the flow of the water? Why is this hose not going? Just look the fuck around. You stepping on the hose sometimes. Fucking up the flow. Fucking up your own flow, man. Telling you this once again because I know how to screw up every flow in every direction. Turning the water on too fast, too slow, stepping on the hose, whatever, however you want to put it. I know how to screw the best and the worst of things up. That's where I'm thankful now for the F-ups, because thankfully that I've been through enough F-ups, personal, or the ones that have been thrust upon me, that I can maneuver through them. I am thankful and I'm ready for them. You know, we just got birded, you know, another personal experience or partial business I could share is we had another gentleman and their family business approach us in the last few weeks. Indeed, the type of services that we, you know, can provide came recommended by another family business or service, and we don't represent ourselves as a family business, but people that really know us in our circle, they know what we about, and we about family. So when we started scratching the surface for the first 2 weeks, conducting business with these individuals, they had enough, I guess I can say, enough labor to provide. In the first week, I gave them a general estimate of for future reference of what they had to look forward to, because the one that was providing their service for them before wasn't quite as on point with their maintenance as they thought. So within the first few days, we were able to show them, look at, you know, with just these basic inspections and lists and everything that you can see with your own eyes, you know, you got 500 hours worth of labor needed. You know, within, you know, another week, we had to show them the hard truth that they were coming close up to 1,000 hours of labor that they needed in order to get their business, not even the whole entire business, but I would say a good 60 to 70% of their business in a few different areas up to snuff, so that they're not having those fires, so to speak, to put out, those emergency calls they had to make every day, the extremely stressful hair pulling out things. It's like, hey, oh yeah, it's raining over here in Phoenix today. You don't go look and see that there's rain pouring in every day and you got to put a bucket in every time that it's raining. And you know it's going to rain next time and you don't take care of that. That, to me, a rain falling in on your house, the same thing as having a fire. Might as well burn it down. There goes your shelter. If you don't address those things that don't need to be done and nip them in the butt, you're going to have an entire roof falling in. When you have an entire roof or half of the house that you cannot use, it changes the dynamics of your living situation real quick when, you know, your living space gets cut into. Something I had to go do, check my boy's room, because we had to replace that roof last year. And it was raining today, so I had to go look around. I had to go and smell. Is there mold in here? I had to go poke on the roof. You know, those are those things that we got to do. And legitimately, just for real, like, everybody keep it real. You don't need to go by homie Joe on the corner's hygiene ethics, which you can wear your drawers inside, outside, backwards 3 times, 4 times, and you get 4 or 5, 6 wears out of one pair. Nah, just do your laundry. You know what I mean? Just take care of that thing. Seriously, set time apart. Turn the motherfucking TV off. The TV, the tube, whatever way you catching it. Cell phones mostly. We all put more time in there. Go and look at your settings. Go look at your YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber, man. Go look and see how many hours you put in a day approximately. Look at your phone. It's telling you. And not only is it telling you, it's feeding that information every time that you downloaded an app or accepted a contract you're going to have that service. It's feeding that most valuable information in the entire world, which is your time, back to the motherfuckers who are in control of everything, telling them, look at what all these motherfuckers are spending their time on. So all we got to do, just like a farmer, all right, plant more seeds of corn, plant more seeds of this, plant more. We know what those consumers want. So now they planting more seeds of advertisement to catch you and I and everyone on every billboard, which ain't even the biggest advertisement anymore, but every single thing that skims across your phone. Every time you're on Amazon, ooh, what the heck? I was just talking to so-and-so about that ideal of that product. Yeah, it showed up on you might want to purchase this because it heard you talking about that. In case you didn't know it, in case you didn't turn off some of those options on there, those apps can tell you in their terms and conditions and the policies that they regulate your voice, meaning your microphone and your speaker, but more importantly, your microphone. Because if you're talking about that new cool pair of shoes or whatever, that's going to scroll right up on your, hey, buy me list. And if you catch it once and twice and three times, and if your mental fortitude, your strength is not strong enough to say no, to not just go on there and look at what you need to and browse a little bit if you need to browse, do window shopping if you need to for a minute. If you're not strong enough to say no, you're going to end up blowing that money you shoulda, coulda, woulda used for open your donut shop, to open your hair salon. You know, it's one of the biggest joys of my life is bringing some freedom and some spice and some flavor to folks' lives. My brother was, you know what I mean, blessed, cutting hair, doing fades in the barbershop for years, putting all his money into these rare cars, all kinds of stuff, and have more ducats saved up than most people would ever know. And he always wanted to do a barbershop, but he just could not. He just didn't want to do the shop thing. For some reason, he just didn't want a barbershop. This is many years ago, but my blessing was to have been in the mobile truck, mobile service in the industry, able to show him, look at man, look right there. Let's talk while we chopped it up. Met him at the gas station when we first met. Became good friends, still know each other. And he's another one of the 2 or 3, going on 4 individuals that I know now is doing the mobile barbershop. There's ones that's pulling up to mansions, cutting hair for $200 to $400 a cut because he's got the cut G for the ones who want to pay it, so they don't have to come out their mansion or their driveway or their comfort zone. He comes to his mobile AC is an old U-Haul truck, converted, put an AC unit in it, put some wood flooring in it, put some cheap vinyl walling on it, a table, sink, and you know he got a $250,000 business now, just cutting hair, fade. Oh, homegirl, she now doing weddings and quinceañeras big here is over where we at. And so she does nothing but weddings and quinceañeras on the weekend. Another $250,000 setup. $5,000 a week is all she needs to pull in. She doing okay. Very well. And, you know, she got plugged in at the truck stop. There was an empty hole there, an old space that used to be an office. And she said, what's that used for? She would go in there just to use the restroom and the facilities like anybody else. And she kept asking, what's that used for? And as her entrepreneur wheels start turning, she said, what's the rent space here? She said, holy shit, I could afford that. She stretched herself. She had to stay broke for about 4 or 5 months. But once she did, she found her son had a desire to cut hair she never knew. She taught him how to cut hair. Now he's running the business, one of the businesses. She's running the other business. And that inspired another brother to go on and step on his own. You know? So we got to really have a little bit of premeditation. You know, you're going to go to the bathroom, you got to clean up the mess. That's just what it is. That's natural. Nobody's got to tell you what to do. We need to start invoking and provoking in ourselves. Like, come on, do you want to have this struggle? Do you want to have this pain? And I'm talking from the area of struggle and pain because I know struggle and pain got scars inside and out, through and through. So that's why you hear me come with the passion and the pain, passion because of the pain and the struggle for myself and my family. Pops, once again, was an orphan. You know, at 7.5 years old, he had to see, you know, his family go down in flames. Got a little bit of a rough start. But he is a nice, well-rounded man and individual. He don't have that generational wealth he could pass on yet, but the wealth that he is able to pass on is through his experience, his love, and the premeditation of what needs to be done. same exact footsteps he takes as a man, that he just had to figure it out. The same footsteps of managers, supervisors, owners of businesses, and trustees make. Now that he comprehends all the gap that I've been flapping about this, he is now able to comfortably take another step into driving his spiritual and physical vehicle to another level of financial freedom and make moves on his own. Because the biggest thing that he still struggles with, I can share this, is the fear and the burden of letting go of somebody else paying for insurance, somebody else moving your money around in taxes. That don't stress me out no more. It upset me more in the past when I was younger. But to see the stress on folks when you even talk about them not working for an establishment, not having a job, even being an entrepreneur impartial, there is no partiality to this shit. Either you are or you ain't. That's where your levels of success is what you determine. So I just encourage everybody, provoke yourself, get up, get moving, just walk a little bit, turn the TV off, walk around and talk to yourself, dude.
Yeah.
Shoot. Self-talk is sometimes a lot better than be out there on the corner chopping it up, smoking, something that ain't even good for you,
Truth.
So
appreciate you sharing, man. That's
I
real.
gotta go back and listen.
Sharing.
I gotta go back and listen to one of the last shows. I know you was talking about me too, talking mess about keeping it real or keeping it fake, because there's some areas that we've been trying to fake until we make it, and it just there ain't no point in anybody. You get where you gotta go, but you gotta handle it. And so this is where the foundations of our life and our reality come in, with brothers like Sot putting their heart and their passion on the line. Because when they put it out there, that's that seed they plant for you to pick up and water it, so that you can water your seed that he gave you and take it home and show your kids how to put it in the sun, put it in the shade, put some more water in it, put some clean water on it, because you see what the dirty water does.
True indeed.
So keep drinking from this clean water. Keep drinking from the clean water, man. It's here. I've been blessed by it. Don't be ashamed. The closed mouth don't get motherfucking fed. I'm right here at that point again, so you're going to hear me. Come back. Be up in your ear a little bit. So I appreciate you, man. Got to get with you in a private on another thing.
Appreciate, Give me a call. Appreciate you calling in, man. I got to wrap the show up. We got about a minute left, man. But, thank you for calling in. Appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you soon. You got my number. Give me a call.
Much love.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all checking out the show. I trust that you received. My man just testified. And hey, there's requirements of successful trusteeship, and there's overall requirements of success. And I trust that you can achieve the success that you're looking for. So be sure to check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list, minimum, because we are giving away some silver. Stack your silver giveaway. I appreciate you checking out the show. My name is Sot L for the Foundation here on High Frequency Radio Network. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I believe in you. So take care of yourself. Believe in yourself. Say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. And, believe, begin, become, and it will change your life. Appreciate y'all checking out the show. I'll catch you next week on the hottest radio network on the planet, High Frequency Radio Network. Like I said, my name is Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And you enjoy yourself. Have a luxurious week. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.